Hello, I'm Claire Smith and welcome to my channel. So today I've got another perfume tag video for you. This one is 21 questions all about perfumes and it was created by Tarynessence and the Smelly Sweed. I'll link their channels down below. I was tagged by 50 Cents UK, who is my brand new friend on YouTube and has an excellent channel that is growing very, very fast. I urge you to all to check her out. So let's get into this tag. 21 questions all about perfume, and the first one is, have you been to a school of perfumery? And my simple answer to that is no, I have not. Perfume is just something that I just have always really liked, but I've just really started buying more scents recently and started this YouTube channel, not specifically to talk about perfumes, but that really was the thing that had got me into making YouTube videos. I wanted to show people my collection, I wanted to get suggestions on perfumes that I would enjoy, and that's the whole fun of YouTube. So no, I don't have any specific schooling in perfumery, but I just have a strong interest. Question number 2 is, do you consider yourself to be addicted to perfume? That's a difficult one because I feel like I do have quite an addictive personality, and once I get into something, I do want to know everything there is to know about it. I'm one of those people who will sit and research something to the nth degree. I'm like someone who goes down rabbit holes. You kind of have to be like that if you're going to be into science, and that's my day job. I'm a scientist. So yeah, I think I am addicted in a way, but probably not addicted in the way that most people are addicted. Like, I really like looking at scent notes. I really like looking at the chemicals that make scent notes. I find that fascinating. You know, the production of artificial notes in perfumery is just mind-blowing to me, and I'd love to be some analytical chemist who could do that and who could work with these perfumery companies. That would be so exciting. So the third question is, what is your first memory of wearing fragrance or perfume? It was probably when I was about, 4 or 5, and I think my babysitter, but really, like, she's basically my second mother. She's called Janet, and I remember her giving me a really tiny bottle of Max Factor Le Jardin, which was a fragrance advertised by Jane Seymour, I think, in the 1980s. It had it was just a dab bottle. You just pull the lid off, and I just sit there and sniff it. And yeah, that's probably my first memory of having a fragrance that was mine. So yeah, that's probably my first memory of scent. And then another memory of scent that I have, my mum, when she was going out, she'd either wear Rive Gauche or Chanel No. 5. And I remember she had a splash bottle of Chanel No. 5, and I'd recently discovered the world of whiskey. I was probably about, 6 maybe. And I loved whiskey and lemonade, and my parents would have that in the evenings. And I would just like put a tiny amount in of whiskey, but have like mostly lemonade. And so I kind of had this taste for alcohol, and I remember noticing on the bottle of the perfume that it contained alcohol. So I just read the same word and thought they would be the same thing. And I didn't really get and it was the same colour as well. Like, Chanel No. 5 is quite a dark scent, so it did look like a whiskey. So I didn't really understand that they would be different things. So I ended up drinking a little bit of my mum's Chanel No. 5, and yeah, it very quickly went down the sink. Like, I remember just trying to gag and like trying to clean my tongue of this horrible bitter fragrance. So yeah, that's another childhood memory, but that's not of me wearing it, that's of me drinking it. So the next question is, what is the first fragrance that you purchased with your own money? It would probably be DKNY Be Delicious, maybe, when I got my first job. I didn't have a very well paid job, so I didn't really have a lot of money to spend on scents. And DKNY Be Delicious, which is kind of an appley, kind of very fresh, very young, zingy perfume, and I finished that one. It's gone. I don't have that one anymore, and I don't think I'd want to rebuy it, actually. I think that would remind me of that time in my life of being in my early 20s, and I'm not in my early 20s anymore. So yeah, that one's done for me. So question number 5, what is the oldest perfume in your collection? So it depends how you measure it, really. So the one that I know when it was bought, and I know for sure that this is really old, is probably this one. So this is Paloma Picasso by Paloma Picasso, which is ironically not a scent I enjoy or like, but it just reminds me of my great uncle, so that's why I keep it, because I think he used to wear this scent. And this bottle was bought in 1993, I think, approximately, and it was my mum's. My mum like buys fragrances and then just ends up not really wearing them generally. Like she hardly ever gets through a bottle unless it's Rive Gauche or Chanel No. 5, and then she does get through a bottle. Number 6 is, what fragrance can't you stand the smell of? Well, I'm not particularly keen on this one, and also this is not the most PC thing to say, but my stepmother wears a perfume called Estee Lauder Youth Dew, and I remember the first time she got in the car with us, it was just so strong. It's so strong. And like all of those kind of perfumes, like you know, even Chanel No. 5 to a certain extent. I remember when I was little, I didn't like being around my mum when she was going out because it was too much. It was too strong. But I think that like now maybe my scent palette has developed a little bit, and maybe I might enjoy these fragrances a little bit more. What is your favourite food? Well, my husband is a complete gourmand cook. He loves food. He loves trying new recipes. I mean, if you can see behind me, these are just like some recipe books that he's been working from this week. So, you know, he's completely obsessed with making food. So I'm a very lucky person, and I get to experience all of these foods. I hardly do any cooking in this house other than making cakes. So yeah, we eat such a diverse diet. It's easier to say what we don't like than what we do like. But literally anything I will give a go to and try. And I really love that diversity of food. I think that really adds a lot to your life if you can eat anything and enjoy everything. It's just makes life so much easier. I suppose my favourite kind of meal is something like very rich, oily salad with lots of flavourings, with perhaps sort of some pan-fried halloumi or and some nuts or something like that. That's like my dribble food. Or some really nice blue cheese on a salad and some walnuts. Yeah, something like that. That's my favourite kind of food. But really, you know, anything I love. So do you prefer sweet or salty, and mild or spicy foods? All of it. Love everything. So that's a very nondescript answer, but that's the truth. So question 9 is, what was the fragrance that you last purchased? So just after Christmas, I was scouring the internet because I've been wanting this particular fragrance for a long time, and I feel like it's really been missing from my collection. And I found not like an amazing deal, but a pretty good deal for this fragrance. So I bought this little tiny bottle of Alien, and just a little 30ml. I don't need any more than that. But yeah, it's so cute, isn't he? It's like little Alien. So I was wearing this one yesterday. So that's Alien by Thierry Mugler. Question 10. So what are you thinking of buying, but you haven't got around to yet? There are loads of fragrances that are on my wants wish list. I could go on for a long time about this, but you can't buy every fragrance that you want. You just can't, because you just don't have endless money, and you don't want to not enjoy what you have. That's part of learning with perfumes. You can't just buy anything you want. You need to think about it and make sure you really want it before you buy it. And maybe even declutter fragrances regularly. So what am I thinking of buying that I haven't got round to yet? This one stands out as one that I have really been lusting after, but I haven't bought. So this is Angel Novus. This is just like a really like zingy rose scent with lots of lychee and raspberry, and then like a very light style patchouli base. I think it's a gala wood, I think, is in the base. I think I've been wanting this one because it's formulated by Quentin Biche, and I just wanted something like by that perfumer. You know, everyone goes on about Delina and Delina exclusive, and I think that this might fill that kind of Delina shaped hole. So yeah, Mugler's Angel Nova. And also I've been thinking about buying a really nice vanilla scent, so something like Orchidée Vanille, perhaps by Van Cleef & Arpels, something like that. I'm really not sure though. I kind of want to try these scents. That's the issue I've got at the moment. COVID restrictions. I just want to try something before I buy it. I don't want to really blind purchase a more expensive perfume. So question 11 is, what fragrance do you want but you think is too expensive? I don't spend a lot of money on fragrances. I buy a lot secondhand. I am quite often drawn to sales when it comes to perfumes, which is really not the wisest thing to do, but that's me. One that I've been thinking about quite a lot, and in actual fact I've been thinking about a lot of these fragrances from this house, but I've been thinking about Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, because I have just been wanting as I've said, a vanilla fragrance in my collection, and that's just one that has attracted me. But also, a lot of Tom Ford fragrances really, like Au Soleil Blanc, Neroli Portofino, things like that. Been really drawn to Tom Ford fragrances recently. I think since I got Black Orchid, it's made me really, really interested. Talking about how much people pay for fragrances and buying them secondhand, I bought Black Orchid secondhand. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, if you just want to try something and you're not sure and you maybe don't have a lot of money, don't be ashamed to buy something secondhand rather than buying something new. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So the next question is, what is your cheapest fragrance and do you like it? So I have this one, which is Covet Pure Bloom by Sarah Jessica Parker. I picked this one up for £7.99 new retail. I really like this fragrance. It's got loads of tuberose in it. It's a very nice, fresh floral, perfect for the springtime. I really like it. I think it was a complete bargain to pick this up so cheaply, and I'm really pleased I've got it. If you count body sprays, I have this one, which is Material Girl Fierce. Madonna sold the rights to her perfume, to use her Material Girl kind of perfume brand to a company that made body sprays. I think you can still get this on Amazon, but it's quite expensive now. But I think when I got it, it was something like 69 pence because it was being reduced. I think they were originally 66.99. I think it's Wild Rose and Cassis. It's a really, really long-lasting body spray. It's really nice. I haven't tried any of the other ones in this line, but there were loads and loads of these Material Girl body sprays. And if you do see them anywhere, like in a discount store or anything, they're well worth checking out. Yeah, that's probably my cheapest body spray. And then if you go with my second-hand perfumes, individual purchases, my cheapest is probably Gucci Rush. So I got this bottle, I think it was, well, I actually I got two vintage bottles in the same lot, and they were £2 plus postage. So effectively £1 plus half the postage for one of these bottles. So that's like the cheapest, I think, individual. So if you're into perfumes, you can find them very, very cheaply, especially secondhand. If you want to get into perfumes, it is not expensive. So question number 13 is, what is the most expensive fragrance in your collection? Well, I'm not really sure because I bought them over so much time that I'm not really sure which one was the most expensive, but I suppose it's probably one of three. So this one, Tom Ford Black Orchid, I think this is quite expensive retail, isn't it? This is 50ml. Gorgeous though. And then I've got Victor and Rolf Bonbon. So this is a 90ml, so it's much bigger bottle. Lovely caramel and orange scent. And then I've also got Black Opium 50ml, so the classic one that quite a lot of people dislike. Very sweet, very like coffee, vanilla, patchouli. So maybe one of those three, but I'm really not sure. I don't really have anything that's super expensive because I don't want to go down that road of spending crazy amounts of money on fragrance, because I'd rather have a variety than have just one or two really expensive fragrances. I don't have the budget to spend on super expensive scents. I just don't. If you're a scientist, if you're like me, then you live in constant fear of losing your job because you're only ever employed on temporary contracts when you work for universities, unless you become a lecturer, and I'm not. So, my contract currently runs out in the end of August. So it would be stupid of me to spend crazy amounts of money on fragrances because I might not have a job in August. The next question is, does your partner wear fragrance? And does he have one that he doesn't like on you? So no, my partner doesn't wear fragrance, and I kind of wish that he would more often. I really enjoy it when he wears fragrance. So I really like the Emporio Armani Stronger With You fragrance on him. I think that smells really good. I definitely even, maybe wear that one myself, I think. He's just got a tiny little tester vial, so I don't, because I want him to wear it. But anyway. Are there any perfumes that he doesn't like on me? Well, the only one that he's expressed any kind of negative opinion on is this one. So this is Zadig and Voltaire. This is her. So this is kind of, I think this is quite a unisex fragrance. It's kind of chestnutty and very peppery, very kind of, there's a lot of sandalwood. It's kind of a little bit spicy with all that pink pepper and sandalwood. So I think maybe that's what he doesn't like, because it's not super feminine, maybe. I'm not really sure why he wasn't keen on this one. I mean, I've heard people describe this as smelling like a new carpet. I kind of understand where they're coming from. I think it's very dependent on your body chemistry. And yeah, like out of the bottle, it does smell a little bit like new carpet. I agree. But I really like this. I really enjoy this fragrance. It's so strange compared with the rest of my collection. So, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for different. And this one's definitely different. So question 15 is it common for people in your area to wear fragrances? And I think this is kind of a pre-pandemic kind of question. Yes, I think it is common for younger people to really, wear a lot of fragrance and overspray. I think people want to walk around in like little clouds of scent. Especially it seems on the bus. But I really don't think that most people are really into fragrances in the area I live. So I live in West Yorkshire, and especially like the area that I came from back in the Fens in Cambridgeshire. That's kind of the back of beyond. I think my mum was quite unusual in even wearing scents to go out. So question 16 is, do you prefer tea or coffee? Well, duh, I'm British. It's going to be tea, isn't it? If I had to live without one, it would be without coffee. I do really like coffee. I'm really not keen on going to a branded top coffee shop and having something with syrups in. That turns my stomach. But I really love, a nice strong coffee. That's lovely. But yeah, nothing too sweet. I don't have any sugar in my tea or coffee. I just like, a dash of milk, and that's great. With teas, I like black tea, and I also like peppermint tea. I really love peppermint tea. Question 17 is, do you wear fragrances marketed to the opposite sex? So I don't technically own any male fragrances, but I do have several fragrances that I would consider to be unisex. And really, fragrance is a very fluid thing. You can wear whatever you want, whatever gender you feel you are or might be, or whether you don't feel you have a gender, it doesn't really matter. Like, wear what you want, wear what you like. So I've got only a few specifically unisex fragrances. So I've got this one, which is Sardonic's Fire by And Other Stories. So I wore this one on my wedding day. So, I really like this scent, and this is marketed as unisex, and I would totally agree with that. It's kind of got that really deep, lovely saffron and rose that's just an amber, and I also have this kind of Floral Street sort of tester kit, and I would say that definitely like the ones down this end for sure are very unisex, and even like London Poppy I think is very unisex. I mean, these are all marketed as unisex, but I would say that those ones are the ones that I could more easily imagine a man wearing. And then I also have obviously Black Orchid, which I think is entirely unisex, would smell great in this. And I also have Angel, which I think of as a unisex fragrance. Again, really nice, really deep, really earthy. I also think that Versace Crystal Noir is quite unisex. And this one, which is a cheap one, this is Sarah Jessica Parker's Covet. Question 18 is, when travelling, do you take full bottles, decants, or testers? So I used to take full bottles. I didn't used to have very much perfume. I just used to take my favourite perfume, which was for a long time Marc Jacobs Lola. So I'd quite often take that one on holiday. That's a really well-travelled bottle of mine. Whereas nowadays I might take this Floral Street tester kit for a bit of variety, or one of these like tiny 30ml bottles that's, you know, not expensive, like Covet or something like that. I'm not really picky. I think I do a variety of things. So the next question is, do you typically receive compliments on fragrances? I would say that no, I don't. I generally don't overspray fragrances. I try to keep them just to myself, because I feel like I don't want to impose myself on other people. I work in an environment where there are loads of different cultures, and I wouldn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. So I wear fragrances for me and for my enjoyment, and I wouldn't want to, you know, cause offence by spraying something that's really strong. And I work in a shared office, so it would be unreasonable of me to do that. Yeah, I mean, I do get a random comment, and I would say that I probably get more comments from women rather than men. I think men are maybe a little bit more hesitant to say anything about fragrances, probably because they wonder whether it's appropriate, especially, you know, when you're at work and things. So next question 20 is, do you wear fragrance when you are home alone? And the answer to this is yes, yes, yes. I love wearing fragrance just for me. I always wear fragrance every single day. I will always wear something even when I'm at home. And the final question is 21. Do you wear fragrances to receive compliments or for yourself? For sure, I wear fragrances to please myself. You shouldn't be spending your life trying to please other people. You need to be your own person. You need to make yourself happy. And as much as it's important to please other people sometimes, I think making yourself happy can be one of the best and kindest things you can do for yourself. And sometimes, you know, if you're a very giving person, you can forget that. Try to make yourself happy, because ultimately making other people happy is great, but you need to concentrate on yourself sometimes. So that's it for this video. That's 21 questions answered all about perfume. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video and consider subscribing, because I do a lot of perfume videos. I'm not an exclusively perfume channel, but that really is one of my passions, and I would love to talk about perfume with you. And please leave me some comments. What are your answers to some of these questions? What's your cheapest fragrance? What's your most expensive fragrance? I'd love to know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!